Right, good morning to everyone. Today we are going to have this third lecture with last 2 hours of service marketing. And as usual, let me take you through the learning objective. Well, the first is the introduction. So we have covered up to certain amount of good coursework, and today we'll be covering the 3, 4, 5 aspect in one go. I might get deviate from these learning objectives, but I will keep my pace into this particular learning objective so that no one will get away from the learning that we are supposed to do. But there'll be some lectures where I will elaborate more on certain aspects. So that also comes with the lecture itself. Right. So going forward, yesterday we discussed about the four characteristics of intangibility, inseparability, variability, perishability of service, and we are very thorough. I guess that everyone is aware about service characteristics by now. But let me recap once again. Intangibility: service cannot be felt before buying. I explained this with Red Cross taking the discussion yesterday, which is quite good. I think you quite understood what a service is now, is about, and well, after that we moved into inseparability. Services are generated and consumed together. You can't separate the two from the product and then later on consumption. No, its inseparability aspect is governed by the whole thing. Variability: service quality never stay the same. Variability is another important characteristics of service, which means that their quality may vary greatly depending on who provides them and when, where, and how they provide. So the quality delivery has to be well planned, well executed, because it depends on how you deliver and where you deliver and what you deliver. So that's variability. Perishability: service cannot be stored. Once it is taken, it has to be consumed. Service are perishable, which means that service cannot be stored for later use or later safe or use. So it has to be consumed then and there. Right now, today we are going to talk about service strategy elements, how a service can be strategized and what needs to be done. So, to start with, let me share my screen with you where we have a video, and I'm going to have a case study going on with the whole lecture with regards to DHL, right? And let's see how DHL delivers their service. So let's move on to a video. Let me share the screen with regards to this. Videos are being stored for the lecture. And here we go. This is the first video. Let me see whether the sounds are on. Yep, I'll put it to stereo so that you get a better quality. Right, here we go.
I am the bringer, the giver of smiles. I'm the one who makes it happen. I am the pioneer, free of boundaries.
Hi, Richard Garriott here from the ISS, and today we're going to start assembling the DHL experiment.
I am the skies, the seas, and the land. I am the day and the night. I am everywhere. I am the one who stops at nothing. I am the builder of dreams and the unfair advantage. I am the power of global trade, helping the world share new ideas, helping people live longer lives. I am the champion of progress.
Another massive earthquake rocks Nepal overnight, causing more death and destruction.
I am hope and
Another massive earthquake rocks Nepal.
helping the world share new ideas, helping people live longer lives. I am the champion of progress.
Another massive earthquake rocks Nepal overnight, causing more death and destruction.
I am hope and optimism. I'm thinking of today and of the future. I am the helping hand. I am here for you. I am DHL.
Right. So excellence simply delivered. Now they are very outbound agency where they deliver excellence. Right. So with that note, I'll be going into my lecture here. That's the preamble of today's lecture with regards to DHL story. Now you know how to deliver excellence. Deliver excellence is one of the best aspect that DHL is currently focuses on, and we have another entity called FedEx. Now let's see that story as well, and we'll come back for the lecture. So let's see how FedEx does it.
How FedEx became the courier of the world. Welcome to alux.com, the place where future billionaires come to get inspired. If you're not subscribed yet, you're missing out. Hello, Aluxers, and welcome back. It's great to have you here with us today as we break down how FedEx changed the transport and shipping industry and the way business is done globally. In this video, we're looking at how the company came to be, the strategy they used, the struggles they had to overcome, and if you watch until the end, you'll learn what the future holds for this global leader. FedEx, the big picture. Most businesses start off with an idea to fulfill a need they see in the market. Very few expect to change the way business is done globally. With only 48 years in business, FedEx has done just that. Located in Memphis, Tennessee, FedEx has over 425,000 employees and generates annual revenue of $63.9 billion. They're ranked at number 81 on Forbes' most valuable brands list, with their company being worth approximately $8.3 billion. With access to over 650 airports throughout 220 countries and territories, it's no wonder why FedEx is dominating the transport industry. The only competition that has blipped on its radar has been UPS and DHL. However, Amazon is about to enter this domain. It'll be interesting to see how FedEx is working to keep its market share. But let's first take a look at the beginning to see how one idea changed global business forever. The beginning. We begin in Mississippi, where the CEO of FedEx, Frederick Smith, was born. He suffered greatly as a child, battling bone disease until the age of 10. He recovered through his teenage years, becoming an amateur pilot and excelling in sports like football. In the 1960s, Smith went on to attend Yale University, where he wrote a paper detailing the issues he saw in the shipping industry when it came to sending time-sensitive packages, such as medicine. He then went on to create a system that would solve the exact logistical challenges he outlined. After graduation, Smith served 3 years as a Marine Corps ground officer, where he experienced firsthand the military's hyper-efficient logistical systems. After his honorable discharge in 1969, he acquired an aviation company in Arkansas, where he further experienced the difficulties of getting packages where they needed to be on time. By the early 1970s, Smith had referred back to the paper he wrote at Yale and founded Federal Express. He began the first night of operations with 398 employees and 14 Dassault Falcon jets to deliver 186 packages across 25 U.S. cities. But, like with any new venture, Frederick Smith would encounter some turbulence along the way. The struggle. In the early days of Federal Express, the company struggled with regulations implemented by the U.S. air cargo system that made transporting items very inefficient due to the necessity of several middlemen working together, which was often unreliable. These issues led Federal Express to lobby for deregulation within air cargo transportation sectors, and legislation in its favor was passed in the late 70s. These changes were vital to the company's growth as it allowed Federal Express to use larger aircraft and in turn cover more ground. However, it wasn't all clear skies. During this time, the company began hemorrhaging money and at times losing $1 million per month. After he was denied a loan from aerospace company General Dynamics, Frederick Smith took his last $5,000 and hopped on a plane to Las Vegas. He left everything up to fate in a game of blackjack and walked away at the end of the night with $27,000, enough to pay his employees' wages. Looking back on those times, Smith said, "The $27,000 wasn't decisive, but it was an omen that things would get better." And they did. After 5 years in business, Federal Express finally became profitable, delivering an average of 19,000 packages per day. Strategy. By the early 1980s, the company was growing rapidly.
Now, this part is very important for you all because this is what we are going to talk about today with regards to service strategy as to how to implement this whole thing, right? So watch very carefully.
And Federal Express opened a super hub near the Memphis International Airport in Tennessee. This move expanded the company's reach of services to an additional 90 U.S. cities, and after 10 years, Federal Express saw its first $10 billion in revenue. But this expansion brought with it different logistical hurdles, something Smith knew he had to resolve, which led to the introduction of handheld barcode scanners, finally giving those in the shipping industry a way to track parcels. With its sights set on global expansion, Federal Express acquired Gelco Express International and Flying Tiger International, two couriers with worldwide reach, serving over 80 countries and territories. By this point, Federal Express now had access to the Netherlands, Belgium, the UK, Ireland, France, Switzerland, and Poland. Streamlining its process even more, Federal Express created the Clear Electronic Customs Clearance System, allowing for expedited customs clearance while shipments were still en route. This helped tremendously with its international and overnight shipments between the US, Europe, and Asia. The defining moment. Even with their global expansion and leading technological advancements in transportation and shipping, none of that would have mattered if they didn't lead the charge in lobbying for air cargo deregulation. None of its express freighter services would have excelled globally because it simply needed the larger aircrafts. Today, FedEx has the world's largest all-cargo air fleet, including but not limited to Boeing 777s, 767s, 757s, and MD-11s, as well as Airbus A300s and A310s. Controversy. Over FedEx's relatively short history, it's had to deal with several incidents, including an attempted hijacking. During the 90s, one of the company's employees facing termination, Auburn Callaway, attempted to hijack the aircraft and crash it. His goal was to make the crash appear accidental so his family could receive his Federal Express insurance benefits. Thankfully, the flight crew was able to subdue him and land the aircraft safely. However, some members involved sustained injuries in the struggle that prevents them from ever flying again professionally. As for the flight engineer Auburn Callaway, he's now serving 2 life sentences in prison. In another crazy mishap, FedEx was sued by a woman in Massachusetts for a package containing 7 pounds of marijuana that was mistakenly delivered to her doorstep. To make matters worse, the true owners of the drugs then showed up at her home, demanding she hand over their shipment. The lawsuit was eventually dropped and the police caught up with the folks responsible. And Aluxers, even though marijuana is still illegal in many parts of the world, there are lots of places where the industry is budding. Interested? Click in the top right corner to check out our video, The 15 Things You Didn't Know About the Marijuana Industry. The value. FedEx specializes in time-sensitive international express air freight services. It generates most of its revenue from the Express division, delivering 6 million packages daily. FedEx Express delivers value through providing clients with fast delivery and major convenience when compared to the U.S. Postal Service. The company continues to enhance its services to remain competitive and attractive to businesses that depend on its cost-effective worldwide express shipping. A couple of reasons why businesses choose FedEx over similar services include wider delivery coverage, more options for weekend deliveries and pickups, and more services for shipping dangerous goods. To grow even more, FedEx's services are diversifying into other related businesses. The company launched FedEx Priority Alert and SenseAware, which allows customers to track their fragile and more expensive shipments by placing sensors in the package that track changes in temperature, light exposure, and humidity, among other factors. The system also allows FedEx to use predictive analytics to increase efficiency within its process, also aiding in clarifying any liability in damage claims. FedEx customers enjoy transparency while their valuables, medicines, and perishables are en route, and being able to know exactly where and in what condition a package is in can save a business a lot when shipping valuable or sensitive items. The results. FedEx scaled relatively quickly, despite early financial issues and failed ventures, such as Zapmail, a fax service that delivered 5 pages in less than 2 hours, which became a $5 million misstep. In the late 90s, FedEx became the first transport company to allow customers to process shipments and track packages online, creating a whole new way to do business. The company also stuck to their current growth through 4 strategic acquisitions in the early 2000s. FedEx acquired logistics company Tower Group International, customs, duty, and tax info company World Tariff, and 2 of its most strategic being retail chain Kinko's and Parcel Direct. The purchase of Kinko's expanded retail access to all of Kinko's 1,200 stores at that time, which significantly expanded customer reach, while owning Parcel Direct strengthened its alliance with the U.S. Postal Service. FedEx was now able to provide e-commerce customers a cost-effective solution for lightweight and residential shipments, changing the game forever. The recession of the late 2000s led many companies to search for ways to save money and either stopped shipping or moved to cheaper alternatives such as ground shipping. This greatly affected FedEx's bottom line, going through large network capacity reductions, including retiring some of its oldest and least efficient aircraft. FedEx also announced layoffs with voluntary buyouts and work hour reductions at some of its airport hubs to help cope with the crisis. However, despite all of it, through the growth and perseverance of FedEx, we see setbacks often prepare us for even greater comebacks. The future. The majority of FedEx customers live outside of the U.S., so the company works diligently to make international shipping as easy as possible for businesses servicing a global market. To sustain its model, FedEx continues to aggressively acquire new companies. Within the past 10 years alone, it added 10 more companies to extend not only its reach globally, but to enhance its logistics and improve on its use of technology. With such major acquisitions, it's incredible how FedEx has such a steady financial growth. Amidst all of this, FedEx showed it was concerned about more than its global footprint, but also its carbon footprint. The company has been able to reduce its carbon footprint by 90 tons of CO2 per year through the introduction of 10 innovative battery-powered vehicles for use across 3 London locations. And not too far away in Milan and Turin, Italy, FedEx launched 10 hybrid electric commercial vehicles as well. And FedEx's dedication to service doesn't end there. The company was named twice by Fortune magazine, firstly as one of the top 100 companies to work for back in 2013, and last year in 2018 as the best workplaces for millennials. It also received an award for being voted in the top 20 business super brands in the UK and named as an outstanding employer by CRF Institute. At FedEx, we believe our people are our greatest asset, so we strive to create an environment where all our team members feel connected, respected, valued, and proud, said David J. Bronczek, President and COO of FedEx Corp. Closing. The world we live in continues to change. With the internet and e-commerce, people and businesses are more connected, and they'll be looking for new ways to have a global reach. FedEx keeps that in mind with their innovation and dedication to providing value to their customers. That's been the company's true success and what makes FedEx the courier of the world. Well, Aluxers, that's a wrap. But before you go, we're curious. Do you use FedEx? Has your experience been good so far, or?
Right now, let me get you to this particular phrase that they have put forward. At FedEx, we believe our people are our greatest asset. So we strive to create an environment where all of our team members feel connected, respected, valued, and proud. Now, see the way I told you yesterday also at the discussion, it's the people that delivers the service, right? And that's why FedEx has become a big global leader, right? And look at the strategies they used. They used humans. They use a very humane strategy to deliver the service, right? එතකොට ඒගොල්ලෝ මිනිස්සුත් එක්ක ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ මිනිස්සු තමයි ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ වැලියු එක වෙන්නේ. එතකොට ඒගොල්ලෝ මේ මිනිස්සුත් එක්ක තමයි මේ ස්ට්‍රැටජි එක ඩිලිවර් කරන්නේ. එතකොට අපි බලමු මේ ස්ට්‍රැටජි එක ඩිලිවර් කරන aspects මොනවද කියලා දැන්. Right, so let me share my presentation to you. Right, okay, now we'll see. Service strategy delivers outcomes. A well-defined plan helps you to be successful with service. A well-defined plan helps you to be successful with services. Strategy defines what an organization wants to accomplish and how it will prioritize initiatives and allocate resources to achieve outcomes. Service organizations need a strategy to set goals, define priorities, and establish plans. When they make a highly effective organizations define, right? Highly effective organizations defines how team, including services, development, sales, and product management, cooperate and coordinate effort across the company to cost effectively meet customer needs and attain business outcomes, right? So to cost and coordinate effort across the company to cost effectively meet the mega mathamatiyaka. Right. So what's step number 2? Service offers drive growth. A well-defined portfolio of service programs is essential to retain and expand customer relationships, like what FedEx did and what DHL has done. Service programs establish customer expectation and define how companies monetize service delivery. Service portfolio need to meet evolving customer needs from onboarding through adaptation, support, success, and modernization stages of product ownership. So this is also key. The right service portfolio design will engage customers, accelerate time to value, and increase the likelihood of renewal and expansion. Highly effective organizations monetize support and success service by offering catalogs of high-value services that customer wants to sell. Sales can sell. Customer want and sales can sell. So this is another important factor. Right? Service offers drive growth. Right. Let's go to the other one. Service team design promotes collaborations. Organize the right people in the right roles to do the right things cooperatively. Every team within an organization is accountable for contributing to customer outcomes. Organizations need to have the right people with the right skills and responsibility incented to do the right thing. So this is people at the right time. When teams cooperate and work towards common objectives, they are efficient and effective in delivering what is promised to customers. What you promise, you need to deliver to customers because you know the 4 characteristics of a service. Highly effective organizations break down organizational silos and maximize cross-functional cooperation to achieve shared objective and deliver better customer experience at every touch point. Remember this. I will get to touch points very soon with the experience that I have. Right. So remember this particular section today. Touch points කියලා කියන්නේ හැම තැනකම customer touch වෙන point එකේ අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම මිනිස්සු සුහදව වැඩ කරන්න ඕනේ සර්විස් එක deliver. Highly effective organizations break down organizational silos. මිනිසුන් අතර තියෙන ප්‍රශ්න අයින් කරනවා. cubicle වල වැඩ කරන්නේ නැහැ. මිනිස්සු සමානතාවයක් එක්ක මේ රැකියාව කරන සර්විස් ඕගනයිසේෂන් එකක. නැත්තම් අපිට කිසිම ඩිපාර්ට්මන්ට් එකක් කනෙක්ට් කරන්න බැරි වෙනවා සර්විස් එක ඩෙලිවර් කරන්න. මොකද ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ ජොබ් එක කරා ගෙදර ගියා. එහෙම බෑ. සර්විස් ඕගනයිසේෂන් එකක කැපවීම කියන එක සහ මිනිස්සු අතර අන්‍යෝන්‍ය අවබෝධය කියන එක තියෙන්න ඕනේ. So, highly effective organizations break down organizational silos and maximize cross-functional cooperation to achieve shared objectives and deliver better customer experience at every touch point. So that's number 3. Okay, let's go to number 4. Processes are streamlined and cross-functional. Define activities and actions to achieve desired service outcomes efficiently. Processes defines what organizations do and how they do it. Now that is why I haven't touch the service marketing mix yet, but look at this. Processes define what organizations do and how they do it. Service processes need to encompass delivery of services, engagement, and renewal of customer relationships, and strengthen the service delivery capabilities. Highly effective organizations increase service efficiency when key activities are well defined and best practice embraced. So that's key. So you need processes for your strategy streamline. Next important thing, technology drives efficiency and innovation. Innovate, automate, and scale service delivery cost effectively. Technology enhances service capabilities and enables new ways to engage customers. The right use of service technology will scale delivery capacity, improves customer experience, and deliver better business outcomes at lower cost. Highly effective organizations leverage technology to streamline and automate core service functions and find new and better ways to serve customers. For example, we have a wonderful company right next to Trace City Campus, Colombo City Campus. That is CodeGen. Right? Let me quote here. Right? Example, we have CodeGen. Right? Who's doing exactly this. Technology drives efficiency and innovation. So you must visit these organizations. Access to data leads to meaningful insights. Insights-driven process improvement, efficiency gaining, and better customer experiences. Now, you need to know this. Right? Access to data leads and meaningful insights. Highly effective service organizations have the means to measure the contribution of service initiatives to specific corporate goals and objectives. That make access to data leads to meaningful insights. Highly effective service organizations have to have the means to measure the contribution of service initiatives. Right? Have the contribution of service initiatives to specific corporate goals and objectives. They use insights to predict and prevent issues and escalations and identify opportunities to mitigate churn and expand relationship values. Right? So they use data, insights for decision making. Right? Okay, we'll look at another case study, that is IKEA in Sweden, and see what we can learn from the strategy. So let me share the screen. Morning, Varuna and Chamara. I started early because I have to give this recording properly to you all. So good morning and welcome to the lecture.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, sir.
Okay, let me share screen and see whether I can get IKEA. Yeah, here we go.
Maybe the most exciting change that I've been part of these 25 years is the growth of IKEA in a number of different cultures. We have colleagues and customers and suppliers in many parts of the world today, and in that way we're no longer how can I say, only a Swedish company with a little bit of an international experience. We're really a company with a strong foothold in many different places. In order to be able to be really not just relevant but right with the local customer, we need to be very aware of what is life at home for people in the local market. So we spend a lot of effort actually following that, both with home visits and just very simple going to see what are the bathrooms like in Poland, right? And understanding that better, so we can both communicate what we have for people in the right way, but we can also do more good things for the way people live at home. That's important. But then using our means of communication, I think the more important part is really to understand or to, in different ways, actually show solutions in ways that are relevant to people in the local market, right? So, I mean, we have markets where people live in very, very limited space. To come up with very smart solutions for limited space is very simple, but makes all the difference, right? Or if it's in markets where families are big with multi-generational living, or there are more kids maybe than in other markets, we do something big with that. And then always be very good with the right price level. Now I think as we grow, the changing or the evolution of the Swedishness will come. I mean, now we're building IKEA culture, for example, with a large Chinese IKEA workforce and co-workers there and managers and leaders, and of course it's about being IKEA in China and being Chinese, right? And what does that mean? So that will change us, yeah. But I think the important things will stay, and I actually think it doesn't really matter where we are in the world. People who enjoy working at IKEA and shopping at IKEA, they in a way want to share that culture. And I think it is a universal culture also for people who want to work together, or how can I say, be together in a certain way, right?
I think we have to be open-minded about it. Of course, our values are always important, and we want to take them abroad as well. And I think we can do that, but we also have to bring something from the other cultures to our company to be successful. I think that's important.
Now, the culture of IKEA 40, 50 years ago, I think, was very much about a place and maybe about a man, an entrepreneur, and his group of people, right, at that situation. I think we're more open-minded, we're more of a world citizen today than we were before. And I think we're discovering ourselves maybe in the eyes of others in a way that wasn't possible 40, 50 years ago, when we were much more in a special place or a regional place, right? But at the same time, I think we would recognize ourselves visiting 40, 50 years back. We would see that we would be still, I mean, same enthusiasm, focus on the future, problem solvers, hard workers, doers maybe, and innovators in a commonsensical way, right? So I think there's something there that's lasted, yeah. But it's changed, yeah. There are many products that represent IKEA to me. 8,500. No, if I should pick one, I think one of my favorites is the Klippan sofa. Klippan sofa is a sleek, clean, big two-seat sofa that we've had in our offer since the beginning of the 80s. And it was then developed from another model, so it's actually in its origins even older than that. and it's sort of the icon of the modern, simple, casual, informal sofa that can actually go in any room in any home, right? And has a slip cover, and a slip cover that you can take off and wash, and you can buy another slip cover so you can actually have two looks on your sofa and so forth. And then what's particularly wonderful with it is that over the time we have improved the quality inside and out, so like really built it from the inside. We have lowered the costs through just making it smarter and smarter over time, and now lately in the last few years we have turned it into a self-assembly sofa, so it actually comes flat pack also. So it's sort of the ultimate IKEA sofa. So look for Klippan next time you're in an IKEA store.
I think right now it's one of the armchairs that they have at work, IKEA. I think it's called Patrick, I'm not sure. It's actually for office use, but I have it in my living room, and it's red and I love it.
Right, so that's the story of IKEA, the case study as to one of the largest, one of the biggest stores in Sweden and across the globe. And there are a lot of models now. You can see Apico happening in Sri Lanka, how Damro is coming out, and how Damro expanded to India. So this service of IKEA is being copied right across the world. ඒකට හේතුව තමයි ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ delivery එක දවසින් දවස improve වෙනවා customer care පැත්තෙන්. ඒතකොට මේ IKEA කියන එක global study එකක්. ඔයගොල්ලෝ වෙලා තියෙන වෙලාවක තව study කරන IKEA ගැන ගොඩක් දේවල් ඉගෙන ගන්න පුළුවන්. මොකද හේතුව ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ service standards සෑහෙන්න වැඩි නිසා. Right? So give me a minute. Right. Okay, let's go to the lecture. So that's a case study, and I will take it into my notes as well. Right, categories. දැන් අපි බලමු service එකක කොහොමද categories වලට කඩන්නේ service එක දෙන විදිය category කරලා. Right, ඒක මෙන්න මෙහෙම diagram එකකට දැම්මොත් අපිට බලා ගන්න පුළුවන් මේ service එක categories ගණනාවකට විහිදෙනවා. Right? එතකොට දැන් අපි ගත්තොත් insurance services, hospital services, right? Fiscal services, child nutrition services, facilities planning and management services, maintenance services, right? Custodial services, transportation services. මේවා ගොඩාක් පැතිවලට business services විදිහට categorize කරොත් අපිට බලා ගන්න පුළුවන්. Right? Now, for example, let's go into detail a bit. In order to be able to make a clear and relevant classification of services, we would first need to understand the concept of the word itself. Service usually refer to the process and not physical product. To understand more, right, to understand more, read this article on difference between goods and services. Some services may include people, whereas other services like online services may including objects which are managed by people. Right? එතකොට අපි බලමු කොහොමද මේක categorize කරගන්නේ කියලා. The service processes can be either manual or mechanized or both. It is possible to carry out a classification of service based on two general dimensions, such as what is being processed, whether is it a person or an object, and how it being processed. In other words, what is the nature of the process, tangible or intangible, right? ඉතින් අපි ගත්තොත් දරාස් කියන එක online service එක, ikmang.lk, කප්රුක, මේවා online services. එතකොට මේවා services categories තියෙනවා අපි study කරලා තේරුම් ගන්න ඕනේ. In terms of people processing activities, the level of involvement of the people can vary significantly. Managers must think about processors' outputs in terms of what happens to customer and what is being created. ඊයේ මම කියපු TVS example එක වගේ. Having your computer broken and taking it to repair facilities is one example of service including in this category. They were a human-oriented service එකක් ඔයාලට ලැබෙනවා. Right? ඔයා computer එක කැඩලා අරන් ගියාම හදන්න. Customers are less physically involved in this category or service, and usually there's no real need for them to enter the service once he requested the service, explain the problem and pays the respective service. Right? එතකොට අපි බලමු ඊළඟට මේ වැදගත්ම දේ තමයි මෙන්න මේක. Tangible action, service for people, service for goods. එතකොට service for people කියවම healthcare, restaurants, salons කියලා තියෙනවා sector එක. Service for goods, transportation, repair and maintenance, dry cleaning, laundry service. Right? එතකොට මේ වගේ අංශ ගණනාවකට මේ service එක යනවා tangible පැත්තේ. Service for people, service for goods. Right? I hope you understand. And let me move in. This is very simple. Very complicate කරගන්න එපා. Classification of service based on tangible actions. Wherever people or product are involved directly, the service classifications can be done based on tangibility. ඒක පැහැදිලිනේ. Tangible action එකක් තියෙන තැන people involved ලා ඉන්නවා නම් service එකට service එක classify කරනවා tangibility එක අතට අහු වෙන product එක මත. Service for people like healthcare, restaurants and salons where the service is delivered by people to people. Right? Service for goods like transportation, repair and maintenance and others where services are given by people for objects or good. එතකොට මෙන්න මේක මතක තියාගන්න. Classification of service based tangible action කියන එක services to people කියලා එකක් තියෙනවා. People to people. ඊළඟට service for goods. Right? Services are given people for objects or good. මෙන්න මේක මතක තියාගන්න service එක categorize කරද්දී. අපි තව පැත්තක් ගත්තොත් intangible action එකක් කියලා ගත්තොත් intangible action එකේ services directed at people's mind, අනිත් පැත්තේ services directed at intangible assets. එතකොට දැන් බලමු මේ දෙක කැඩෙන විදිය. Intangible action පේන්නේ නැහැ. Service directed at people's mind, මිනිසුන්ගේ මනස උදෙසා කරන service එකක්. Education, like what I'm doing right now. Theater, එහෙම නැත්නම් වේදිකාව. Information services, අපිට information එකක් ගන්න ඕන නම් යන්නතොර අපේ මනසට කතා කරන service එක. Labor department එකට කතා කරලා EPF ගැන අහනවා වගේ. Services directed at intangible assets. Banking sector එක. අපේ legal services, insurance services directed at the intangible assets. එතකොට ඔන්න දැන් අපි කව කරා tangible action එකක් මේ වෙනස් වෙන්නේ කොහොමද? මොකනද strategies use කරන්නේ? සහ intangible action එකක පැති දෙක. එතකොට මෙන්න මේක මතක තියාගන්න ඕනේ. මේක තමයි අපි strategize කරන ක්‍රමය. ඒ කියන්නේ අපිට පුළුවන් tangible action එකක් service එකක් විදිහට මිනිසුන්ට දෙන්න healthcare, restaurant, salons. එතකොට salon එක ඇතුලේ කොහොමද service එක දෙන්නේ? restaurant එක ඇතුලේ කොහොමද service එක දෙන්නේ? healthcare එක ඇතුලේ කොහොමද service එක දෙන්නේ මිනිසුන්ට එක්ක tangible actions එක්ක කියන එක අපි මතක තියාගන්න ඕනේ. Services for goods, service for people, ඒ පැත්ත services good, transportation, right? Repair and maintenance, dry cleaning කියන එක එතන එනවා එළියට tangible actions. ඊට පස්සේ අපි intangible actions ගත්තොත් service directed at people's mind, මිනිසුන්ගේ මනස උදෙසා. Service directed at intangible assets. නොපෙනෙන දේවල්, නොපෙනෙන assets එක්ක deal කරද්දි කොහොමද service එක දෙන්නේ? විශේෂයෙන්ම banking sector එක සහ legal services, insurance sectors තියෙනවා මේකට. ඒකට මෙන්න මෙහෙමයි අපි categorize කරන්නේ service එක. Classification of service based on intangibility. ඔන්න දැන් අපි පොඩ්ඩක් හදාරනවා පල්ලෙහාට. There are objects in this world which cannot be which cannot be tangibly quantified. For example, the number of algorithms it takes to execute your banking order correctly, or the value of your life which is forecasted by insurance agents. Right? These services are classified on the basis of intangibility. Right? Services directed at people's minds. Services sold through influencing the creativity of humans are classified on the basis of intangibility. Services directed at intangible assets Banking, legal services, and insurance services are some of the services more difficult to price and quantify. බලන්න කොච්චර deep subject එකක්ද කියලා service කියන්නේ. මෙන්න මේක ඇතුලේ ඕගොල්ලෝ කිමි දෙන්න ඕනේ. මේක ඇතුලේ තමයි ඒ service කියන sector එකේ රහස තියෙන්නේ. Right? එතකොට අපි බලමු ඊළඟට the most intangible form of service output represented by information processing. The customer's involvement in this type is service is not required. Generally, customers have a personal desire to meet face to face, but there is no actual need in terms of operational process. Consultancy services, right, can be an example of this type of services where the relationship can be built or sustained on trust or telephone contact. However, it is more indicated to have face-to-face relationship in order to fully understand the needs of the customer. අපි ගත්තොත් psychological counseling, right? අපිට පුළුවන් over the phone කරන්න, by person කරන්නත් පුළුවන් as a service. A more general classification of service based on the type of function that is provided through them can be as follows. So අපි යනවා categories for business services, communication services, constructions and related engineering services, distribution services, educational services, environmental services, financial services, health related and social services, tourism and travel related services, right? Recreational, cultural and sporting services, transport services, other services not include elsewhere. එතකොට අපිට අතට අහුවෙන්නේ නැතුව ජිම් එකේ වුණත් සර්විස් එකක් ජිම් එක ලබා දෙන්නේ. එතකොට මෙන්න මේක තමයි අපි දැනගන්න ඕනේ සර්විස් එකක් කැටගරයිස් කරන්නේ කොහොමද කියන එක. එතකොට අපි බැලුවොත් අවසානයේදී අපි මේක ටච් කරලා බැලුවොත් right අපිට මෙන්න මේ සියලු sectors ටික අද cover වෙලා අවසానයි. right අපි මේ services sectoring වලට ආව දැන් right construct the strategies to be adapted in the face of service characteristics. Compare and contrast the categories of services using real world examples. Illustrate the transformation of service in the global economy. So ඔයගොල්ලන්ට බලන්න පුළුවන් IKEA වගේ company එකක්, DHL වගේ company එකක්, FedEx වගේ company එකක් කොහොමද global economy එකට උදව් කරන්නේ? කොහොමද ඒගොල්ලෝ goods එහාට මෙහාට ගෙනියන්නේ? කොහොමද මේ service delivery එක deliver කරන්නේ? Right. අපි ඒක හැමම තියෙද්දි we will now go into a video that is, let me share the screen for you. Right, watch this video carefully.
In this video, I will show you how to create service categories, create a routing rule based.
This is a different way of looking at service categories, so please follow the video.
On service category and analyze tickets based on the service category. First, let's understand the need for categorization. Categorization is needed to maintain a semantic classification of business transaction documents and to target the right channeling and optimization of subsequent processes. Simply put, the system knows the best way to process a business transaction based on its categorization. For example, let's say a customer calls in with a request to update his address data in his account. The service ticket that gets created during the call can be categorized as an account support issue. This issue can be forwarded to the right team for quick resolution. Later, analytics can be pulled up based on this categorization to show how many account support tickets were received during the past 6 months. Let's jump into the system and see how. I log into the system as an administrator. I navigate to Administrator, then click on Service and Social. I see the link to define service categories. I click on this link and see all the service catalogs that are defined in the system.
බලන්න සිස්ටම් එකක් ඇතුලේ සර්විස් එක කැටගරයිස් කරන විදිය. මෙහෙම පැහැදිලිව කරේ නැත්නම් අපිට හොයාගන්න බෑ අපි මොන මම මේ ඇප්ලිකේෂන් එකක් ඔයගලන්ට පෙන්නන්නේ මේ හැම දෙයක්ම කැටගරයිස් කරගත්තේ නැත්නම් අපිට ලේසියෙන් හොයාගන්න බෑ සර්විස් කැටගරි එකක් තියෙන තැන. මොකද මේවා highly human oriented වැඩසටහන් නිසා. ඒකයි මම මේ පොඩි සිස්ටම් එකක් ඕගොල්ලන්ට පෙන්නන්නේ මේ කොහොමද සර්විස් එකක් ඇතුලේ ටක් ටක් ගාලා කස්ටමර් කෙනෙක් හොයාගන්නේ කියන එක.
A service catalog is like a container for the list of categories that are created in the system. Each catalog has a version with a validity timeframe attached to it. Creating a catalog is easy and intuitive. Sometimes, businesses have thousands of categories that need to be defined. To solve this issue, the system provides an option to upload an Excel file with the catalog details. Catalogs can be created in multiple languages to cater to businesses with subsidiaries in different regions. For this video, let me click on an existing catalog and create a new category inside it. I select the catalog that I want to update and of which I want to create a new version. Notice that this creates a new version of the catalog and the status is set to In Preparation. I modify the validity of the catalog. Next, I click on Catalog Structure to add a new subcategory under Account Support called Account Data Update.
right. අපි දැන් යමු ඊළඟ එකට. තව case study එකක් ගමු කොහොමද DHL Magenta සහ DHL case study එක කොහොමද අපි බලන්නේ service sector එකකින් කියලා. මොකද අද දවසේ අපි DHL කතා කරා. Right, we'll see how this case study goes through.
In old days, when you were going to a shop, you would, as a merchant, you had full control over the people working in your shop, how they were talking to your customers, how they were smiling, etc. But in today's world, in e-commerce, the only human interaction between a brand and their customers is that delivery. And that last bit is something what the customer will actually remember. So my name is Leonard van Delft. I work at DHL Express, the most international company of the world. The partnership between Magento and DHL makes so much sense because we are both global companies. We both as companies, we also believe in the power of cross-border e-commerce and how fast that is growing nowadays. So we really also want to help the merchants to go beyond their borders.
There's a real focus now on what that post-purchase experience looks like. You know, that's really sort of in some ways the front lines of where innovation in commerce is today, and it all comes down to the carriers and shipping. And when we think about sort of the carriers out there, you know, DHL definitely, you know, proven time and time again that they are innovating in the marketplace.
So there's a lot of last mile innovation coming, and all that innovation has the purpose to really make that first delivery attempt as successful as possible. Drone deliveries, deliveries to the trunk of your car, deliveries behind your doorstep, an example.
There's all these sort of you know, new and exciting ways to receive my products, and that's really, really critical to the shipping experience through the eyes of the consumer. Yet most merchants just aren't focused on, you know, talking about that, communicating it, or offering it.
Regarding the partnership with Magento, there's a lot more we can do together. We really want to help those merchants to grow, and we want to educate them, we want to support them. There are a lot of new integrations coming as well in order to ease up the life of the merchants so that they can easily plug in the different DHL solutions into their web shop.
Through this partnership, we as Magento are able to make our merchants successful and deliver great end-to-end digital experiences, and increasingly there's a lot of focus on shipping. So it is a very strategic partnership for us.
Right, so that's how DHL and Magento works together in a global outfit. බලමු ඊළඟ වීඩියෝ එක. So this DHL supply chain in India, right now, study carefully. I have been to this facility when I went to India about 4 years ago. Amazing facility. බලන්න මේ statistics දිහා. So what does excellence simply delivered look like in India? On one stats එකලංගේ. Smart investments in property and processes. 9 new multi-client sites over past 5 years. 7 million square feet spread across 162 locations to deliver this excellence. 16 sites utilizing revolutionary operation management system. Right. දැන් බලන්න මේ ඔක්කොම එකට එකතු වෙනවා. Branding to supply chain to operations management ඔක්කොම මේ service එක ඇතුළට එකතු වෙනවා. This is the beauty of studying marketing, right? Pioneering transport solution, 1,400 assets serving 170 customers at 30 locations. Trailer trucks with 40 feet side curtain. 2 innovative transport supply chain control towers. Full shipment visibility, WMS, TMS and second 2CT integration, track and trace applications. බලන්න කොච්චරක් IT involved වෙනවද කියලා. GPS enabled vehicles. මේ package එක අර මනුස්සයගේ අතර deliver කරන්න. Strong talented pipeline, 6,000 plus people to support your business. 90% of associates are certified supply chain specialists. Excellent opportunities for career progression. The intern යන්න පුළුවන් නම් one of the best companies in the world, right? බලන්න මේ පොඩි package එක ඔයා DHL කරන ගෙනියන්න මේ කොච්චරක් human assets use කරනවද service industry එක ඇතුලේ DHL. Delivering solutions to many of the top brands in India. And the brands connect to the service industry, supply chain management, business management, and everything. Right. So that's the basic idea I want to give you with regards to this whole video. Right. We have one more to go. That is Express Insights, what defines customer service at DHL Express. Let's see. Yeah, so we'll watch that also.
The world is changing, and our customer expectations are also changing. It is important to understand the challenges and preferences of our customers so that we can adapt to meet their needs. We continue to expand our retail footprint. We want to offer our customers multiple touch points for greater convenience and accessibility. Our on-demand delivery solution offers the recipients the flexibility of choosing where and when the shipment is delivered, including redirecting deliveries to DHL service points, parcel lockers, or retail outlet partners. Our couriers will be notified of changes in real time. Our digital assistant is now available on our website and on WhatsApp in many countries in Asia. Our customer service experts are also on hand when necessary to support any critical or complex service issues. DHL Express always focuses on providing a simple door-to-door delivery service that is fast and reliable, executed by over 100,000 employees worldwide. Our employees define the customer experience. All our staff are guided by our insanely customer-centric culture. We turn customer feedback into actionable items, which enables the company to then enhance our service offerings to meet their changing needs. We need to stay relevant to stay in the game.
Now look at his statement here.
Our service offerings to meet their changing needs. Guided by our insanely customer-centric culture.
Insanely customer-centric culture. මිනිස්සු කැපවලා ඉන්නවා මේ සර්විස් එක දෙන්න, right, across the globe, right? ඒතර මොකක්ද ඒකෙන් කියන්නේ?
We turn customer feedback into actionable items, which enables the company to then enhance our service offerings to meet their changing needs. We need to stay relevant.
We need to stay relevant.
To stay in the game.
We need to stay in the game. So that's how DHL lift the bar day by day, hour by hour, to stay very competitive as a global service leader, right? Okay, so let's go to our slides. Right, so this concludes the introduction of service marketing for you all, right? And I have a question for you. This is a group question for a group discussion, 13th Thursday at Trace. Take any local service organization and analyze the service parameters and present at the next discussion. So, 9 දෙනා 8 දෙනා group එකක් විදිහට set වෙලා අපි හිතමු 3 දෙනා බෙදලා කරන්නත් පුළුවන් මේක. Trace එකේදී 13 වෙනිදා Thursday ඒ පැයේදී discussion එකට ගේන්න organizations 3ක් මම මේ කියපු විදිහට competitiveness එකේ ඉන්න විදිහ analyze කරලා service parameters analyze කරලා service characteristics strategy analyze කරලා අරන් එන්න discussion එකට. Right, so my lecture slides are over for today, but I will have some few more videos to show you. But I want our videos keep yak ogalanta pennanna. අපි බලමු, let me share my screen. Local entities keep yak we'll see. බලමු මේක තිබ්බොත් මෙතන දැන් ක්ලික් වුණා grasshoppers කියලා ඉන්නවා. Grasshoppers service delivery. Yeah, so this is one අතර මේ සමහර ඒවා අපි experiment කරලා බලපේවා grasshoppers ලත් එක්ක when I was at EVS. මේක දුලිත්ගේ, he is my friend Dulit Herath, who is the founder of Kaproka. Probably you might be able to see him in one day at Trace. Trying to get him to have a discussion with you all as to how he delivers service. He's a highly IT oriented person, but අපි පොඩි video එකක් check කරමු grasshoppers ලගේ. මේගොල්ලෝ app එක use කරන විදිය grasshopper app එක to deliver wherever whatever you want at to the point that you deserve. පාන එක track කරන විදිය pick up request in process in transit out of delivery out for delivery and then it goes to delivered status. Right, අපි තව වීඩියෝ එකක් බලමු ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ.
When you're in the metaverse, you're really there.
මේ කොළඹ ඉඳන් මේ රාජගිරියට යන පැකේජ් එක නෙමෙයි මම කියන්නේ. කොළඹ ඉඳන් රත්නපුරයට, එහෙම නැත්නම් කොළඹ ඉඳන් අනුරාධපුරයට මුළු ලංකාව හරහාම පැකේජ් ඩෙලිවරි නෙට්වර්ක් එක තමයි Grasshopper කියන්නේ.
අපි ඇත්තටම මේ Grasshopper හදලා තියෙන පදනම තමයි විශ්වාසය කියන එක.
මේක ඇවිල්ලා නම්බර් 1 e-commerce delivery network එක දැන් ලංකාවේ. මේ අවුරුදු එකමාරක් වගේ පොඩි කාලයක් ඇතුළත.
මේ තාක්ෂණික පරිණාමයේ යම්කිසි ආකාරයක පසුබෑමක් අපේ සිද්ධ වුණා නම් ඒ පසුබෑම තවදුරටත් පසුබෑම නොදී වේගවත් කරන එක තමයි අපේ ඉලක්කය.
අපිට ඕනේ දැන් මෙච්චර කල් මේ වෑන් එකකින් එහෙම නැත්නම් බයික්ස් වලින් 3 wheels වලින් රන් කරන මේ ඩෙලිවරි බෙල්ට් එක ඩ්‍රෝන්ස් යූස් කරනවා. මේක මාර්කටින් ටූල් එකක් නෙමෙයි. මාර්කටින් ටූල් එකක් කරනවා නම් ගෙදරටම ගිහලා ඩිලිවර් කරනවා නෙමෙයි. මේක මාර්කටින් ටූල් එකක් නෙමෙයි. මේක ඇත්තටම ප්‍රැක්ටිකලි මම කරලා තියෙනවා.
පොඩි ගං අතුරු තත්ත්වයක් ආවා. ඒක ඇවිල්ලා අපේ ලෙන්ස් ගොඩක් ඒවට ඩැමේජ් වුණා. ඉතින් අපි සාමාන්‍ය දන්න ඔය වගේ වැඩ වෙනවා කියලා. ඉතින් ඒකින් හින්දා
මේ මගෙන් ඉගෙන ගත්ත ගෝලෙක්. මේ මගේ ක්‍රූ එකේ හිටපු මගේ ඉගෙන ගත්ත දක්ෂ ගෝලෙක් මේ කතා කරන්නේ.
අපි පොඩි සහායක් පැතුවා මේ Grasshopper කියන ඩ්‍රෝන් බෙල්ට් නෙට්වර්ක් චේන් එකෙන්.
එයාලට තිබ්බ ප්‍රධාන ගැටලුව තමයි යම්කිසි ආපදාවකදී එයාලගේ බඩු විනාශ වුණොත් ආපහු එයාලට බඩු ලබා ගැනීම. සාමාන්‍යයෙන් එයාලා ඒක කරේ භූමිය මගින් වාහන හරහා. නමුත් ඒකට ලොකු වෙලාවක් යනවා. අපිට තිබ්බේ ඒ වෙනුවට ඩ්‍රෝන් එකක් භාවිතා කරලා ඒ වැඩේ ඉක්මනින් කාර්යක්ෂම සහ සුරක්ෂිතව කරගන්න. අපි ඊළඟ අදියේදී භාවිතා කරන්න හිතුවා හයිඩ්‍රජන් සෙල්. එහෙම නැත්නම් ෆුවල් සෙල් කියන තාක්ෂණය. එම සෙල් වල ගොඩක් එනර්ජි ඩෙන්සිටි එක වැඩි. ඒක නිසා අපිට බොහෝ විට පුළුවන් කමක් හැකියේවි ලොකු වේලාවක් ලොකු කියන්නේ හෙවි පේලෝඩ් එකක් අරන් යන්න. ඒ වගේ අලුත් තාක්ෂණයකින් හදපු අපේම ඩ්‍රෝන් එකක් කොළපාර ඩ්‍රෝන් එක මේ වගේ ළඟදීම ඔයගොල්ලෝ බලා ගන්න පුළුවන් අපේ ලංකාව හසේ.
right ඉතින් මේ වගේ මේ සර්විස් එක එන්හෑන්ස් කරන්න ලංකාවේ ගොඩාක් මේ වගේ ඉනොවටිව්ලි පියවරගත් අවස්ථා ගණනාවක්ම තියෙනවා. right මම ඔය ග්‍රාස්හොපර්ස් කියලා කිව්වේ ග්‍රාස්හොපර්ස් ගැන මම දන්න නිසා ඉතින් මේ වගේ ඔයගොල්ලොත් හොයාගෙන යන්න ලංකාවේ සර්විස් ඔරියන්ටේෂන්ස් තියෙන කම්පනීස් මොනවද කොහොමද ඒවා ඒගොල්ලෝ එන්හෑන්ස් කරලා තියෙන්නේ මේක තමයි මට ඔයගොල්ලන්ට කියන්න ඕන උනේ මේ ෆයිනල් ඉන්ට්‍රොඩක්ෂන් එක ඉවර වෙන තැන ඔයගොල්ලෝ ඇනලයිස් කරන්න ඕනේ ගෲප් ඩිස්කෂන් එකක් විදිහට මොකද මේ ඔපචුනිටි එක අපි ප්‍රයෝජනෙට ගන්න ඕනේ මොකද ගොඩක් නොලෙජ් එක එහාට මෙහාට ෂෙයා කරන්න තියෙන නිසා right මම හිතන්නේ මගේ ලෙක්චර් එක අදට ඇති දැන් හොඳ ඩෝස් එකක් දුන්නා ඉන්ට්‍රොඩක්ෂන් එක හරියටම well placed ඉන්ට්‍රොඩක්ෂන් එකක් ඔයගොල්ලන්ට දුන්නා right චාමර වරුණ ඔය දෙන්න විතරක් ඉන්න නිසා do you have any questions to ask any questions to ask
no sir all clear
හොඳටම පැහැදිලිද
ඔව් අවුලක් මැද වගේ නෑ මුල් ටික ආයි රෙකෝඩින් එකෙන් බලන්න
කොයි හරියෙන් ආවේ අපි කොයි හරිය වගේ දැන් මම මුලදී කරේ ඉන්ට්‍රොඩක්ෂන් එක මම මෙන්න මේ කලින් ලෙසන් එකේ ඉන්ට්‍රොඩක්ෂන් එක ගත්තේ කැරක්ටරිස්ටික්ස් වල ඊට පස්සේ ස්ට්‍රැටජි එකට ආවා DHL ස්ටෝරි එක ඇති දාලා select ස්ටෝරි එක ඇති
අපි හරි වගේ tangible intangible ඒ හරි වගේ
කොයි හරිද
tangible අර
මෙතන එන්න ඇත්තේ
ඔව් නෑ තව චුට්ටක් උඩට ඔය බිස්නස් ඔන්න හරි වගේ ඔව් සර් එන්නේ හරි ඔව් 19 ඔන්න ඔතන වගේ ඉස්සරහට
alright හරි එහෙනම් ඔයගොල්ලෝ බලා ගන්න තියෙන ස්ට්‍රැටජි ඔව් ස්ට්‍රැටජි එක යන විදිය බලන්න තියෙන එක පොඩ්ඩක් අහන්න මොකද මේ ස්ට්‍රැටජි එක හරි වැදගත් සර්විස් ස්ට්‍රැටජි එකක් ස්ට්‍රැටජයිස් කරන විදිය දැනගෙන ඉන්න ඕනේ මොකද මගේ අසයින්මන්ට්ස් ගොඩක් ප්‍රැක්ටිකල් වෙන හින්දා ඒක එක අල්ලගන්න පුළුවන් වෙයි ඒ අරින්න වෙන ඉෂුස් තියෙනවද අහන්න
නෑ සර් නෑ සර් ඒක ඒ ටික විතරයි
ඕකේ හරි මම දැන් තව ටිකකින් දානවා ලෙක්චර් එක ලෙෂර්ලි බලන්න තව පැයක් තියෙනවනේ ඕගොල්ලන්ට තව විනාඩි ගාණක් තියෙනවනේ කැම්පස් එකේ දින්නේ අද
නෑ සර් කිතරින් නෑ සර් කැම්පස් එකේ
හරි right එහෙනම් I'll stop my lecture මොකද මම දැන් පැක් කරගන්න ඕනේ ජැෆ්නා යන්න සෙන්ටර්ස් වලට මේක බලන්න වෙලා තියෙනවානේ කූල් එකේ ආයි මුලින් ඉඳන් බලන්න ඕනට මීටර වෙයි ඔන්න ඉන්ට්‍රොඩක්ෂන් එක හරියටම දීලා තියෙනවා ඊට පස්සේ අපි යනවා let me see whether I can show you right බලමු අපි ඊළඟ learning outcome එක මොකක්ද කියලා consumer behavior in service encounters at the end of the session students should be able to analyze the stages in consumer decision making process of service evaluate the various product service attributes in different industries discuss the different components of customer expectation in the service illustrate the relationship between customer expectation and customer satisfaction so අපි යන්නේ consumer behavior එක කොහොමද වෙන්නේ service encounter එකක් ඇතුලේ කියන එක තමයි ඊළඟ පැය 6 වෙන් වෙන්නේ ඊට පස්සේ service quality and productivity service development and design service delivery process managing demand capacity of service pricing communication mix for service managing service evidence customer retention වලින් අපි subject එක ඉවර වෙනවා. ඔයගොල්ලන්ට practical assignment එකක් එක්ක ගොඩක් වෙලාවට service එකක් deliver කරන ක්‍රමය බලලා. right. අපි එහෙනම් ඉවර කරමුද session එක? all good?
හරි සර්.
right. okay. එහෙනම් අපි ලබන අඟහරුවාදා ආයෙ හම්බ වෙමු. thank you Chamara. thank you Varuna.
Okay sir, thank you.
Thank you sir.